Good evening all. Sorry for the late update, it's been a heck of a long day. I just thought I'd give you a quick update for the outcome of the interview I had with the CBD Hemp Media team today. Thanks to Kev and Jay that travelled up from North London to visit me at my home today and to record the interview, so they will be able to share it as well through their media platforms. And also to Robert Jappie, who travelled up. Robert Jappie is the solicitor that will be representing WTU in the coming legal challenge that we are preparing to raise. So I just wanted to quickly give you a little update, just so I could give you my feelings for it really before I go to bed. It's been a long day. Had a couple of hours chatting with the team and with Robert, and I got to say I can't but feel more confident, to be honest with you. He believes in the job, he really wants to get it done. And I love the fact that our fundraiser was started on 420 at 420, and our solicitor's birthday is on 420. To me that's a lovely synchronicity, and I hope and pray that is a serendipitous sign. But anyway, in a nutshell, we need to build an evidence body with some experts and some anecdotal evidence. As you know, we've already got Professor Mike Barnes. He's submitted his report already, as it happens, so we have that in the evidence file. We're also gathering lots of historical reports that basically have been ignored by government, and lots of other experts are coming in at the moment. We've got a spiritual expert that's also coming in at the moment. So we're building this quite steadily, gaining ground quite nicely. We've got about 190 submissions for the case study survey so far, which I think, I'd like more, to be honest with you. We've got 5,200 members. It would be nice to be able to present 5,200 case studies to the government about all aspects of cannabis use. WTU has never been about the medical focus. WTU is about the human rights focus to cannabis, for freedom of consciousness, the right to a private life. So the idea being we're going to build this body of evidence, which we're gathering slowly as time goes on now, and also build that with a body of anecdotal evidence from ourselves, the frontline survivors of the war on cannabis. And then all this will be presented to the human rights barrister who is going to represent the WTU. Now at this point we haven't definitely got a case, because of the way UK law is structured. We haven't definitely got a case. So we have to present all this information to the barrister that is willing to work with us. They will then review the information we give them against current domestic case law, because the UK operates mainly on case law, and then also international precedent as well, such as the Dagger human rights ruling, and also in Mexico now it's a human right to be able to grow and consume your own cannabis under the right of self-determination and development of personality. Excuse me. So our mechanisms of law in the UK are slightly different. We haven't got a single codified constitution for a start, whereas I have in America and South Africa and even Spain, whereas in Spain it's been ruled unconstitutional to prohibit cannabis because of right to a private life. So we are trying to draw all these aspects in from all these different parts of the world. And the plan will be, basically, as you can see in the notes, is to make a declaration of incompatibility between the Misuse of Drugs Act and the Human Rights Act. Excuse me a moment. And the government then will be legally obliged to respond to this declaration of incompatibility. They can't just ignore us. Which so far they've been able to ignore the letters that I've been sending them and that we've been sending them. They can just ignore us, but this will be legal standard. They can't ignore. So we will soon, we haven't got a date, we will soon, I like to think in the next few months, I like to think by the end of October, be issuing this declaration of incompatibility to the Home Office. The Home Office will then have to respond, and they've got one of two ways really. One is to say, oh crikey, yeah, you're completely right, and the Human Rights Act and the Misuse of Drugs Act are completely incompatible, which would be amazing, because if they do that then they just change the laws, which they can do easier than what they make out to be under section 7.1 of the Misuse of Drugs Act. But if they come back and say, oh no, you're wrong, it's not incompatible, it's not infringing on your human rights to deny you access to cannabis, which is likely what they'll do, then we have to go to court. Or we can just accept it, roll over and die, or we go to court, which then we have to take them to the Supreme Court, at which point fundraising would have to start again. I've heard whispers that there's some bigger businesses waiting in the wings to see what the barrister says, and if the barrister comes back and says, by goodness me, Mr. Monk, you're completely correct, you do have a case, which apparently, I make a convincing and compelling case according to the police that I've found and the solicitors I've found. So, let's hope that I have got this convincing and compelling case that I like to believe we have, and the solicitor says, yes, you've got grounds, then we have to start fundraising. But that's when I've heard from various people in the last few months that there's businesses waiting to fund or support the fund, because at this moment in time it's like they don't know which way it's going to go. Hard to say what the barrister's going to say, so on that basis they're not getting involved basically, which I think is a bit chicken shit, if you don't mind me saying so, but I can understand their position. Hold on. So in my heart of hearts now, what I'm praying for every night before I go to bed, apart from the safety of everyone in our community, which, believe me, I pray for your safety every night, and I know it doesn't work, and some of us get bust every day, but I still pray for you every day. And we're going to make this case, give it to the barrister, he's going to read it, come back and say, well, yeah, you got a good case here. Present that to the government. In an ideal world, actually, I'd really like the government to say, yeah, you're right, we'll change the laws, which would be phenomenal. Not have to take them to court and raise all that money would be great. But someone's just written on the post there, we won't stop. We can't stop. It's our life that is at stake here. Our quality of life, our dignity, our reputation, everything is at stake. It really is. We always hear in the news, because the news likes it, about sick and dying children. What we don't hear about is the children of sick and dying adults. Yeah. Now, okay, these parents might lose their sick and dying children. Heaven forbid, man, that'd be awful. But we've got children losing their parents. Yeah. No one ever thinks about that. We've got children losing their parents because of prohibition and because their parents use cannabis for whatever reason they choose to use cannabis. We've got people being evicted from their homes and refused housing because they choose cannabis instead of alcohol or pharmaceutical drugs. How is that not a human rights issue? So anyway, I'm hoping very much so that this is all going to come to pass. It's all going to come together. The Hemp and CBD Media will be obviously editing their many hours of footage, because as you can tell I don't talk in short sentences. They'll be editing me down to a much more concise version, and then they'll be publishing that soon. Also, I'll be sitting with them in the media booth at the NEC for their expo in September. So I'll get to meet the lads again. I look forward to it. There was more I wanted to tell you, but it's late at night. I'm very tired. Someone's written there, they are murdering scum. You're talking about the Tory party there, I presume. It's got to be the Tory party you're talking about, because they've killed so many people. Right. Racking my brains in case that... Oh yeah, do the survey, please. It's not just a questionnaire. It's a survey that's been designed to give statistical evidence. And when I say it's been designed, I've spent many hours with another member, Monica. Many hours. I haven't kicked the backy, Mitch. I do both. I vape and I smoke. I haven't kicked the backy. Spent many hours working on this survey. When I first wrote the survey, I've never written surveys before, I'm just me, I'm not an expert. I put it in the group and asked people for feedback, and a lady in the group who does write surveys gave me feedback, and it's very, very good feedback, and it has led to the survey we have now. So thank you very much, Monica. Couldn't do it without you. And also Shan, who showed us then the new form that tabulates all of the data. So, for example, we talk about spiritual use, tantric use, meditational use, therapeutic use, nutritional use. By the end of the survey, let's say all 5,200 of you fill the survey in, it's going to give us the numbers of people that use it recreationally, medicinally, nutritionally, creatively, spiritually, blah, 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 blah. It'll give us that statistical evidence. Same for all the other aspects in all the multiple choice things. So, and the please elaborate boxes give you a chance to give your voice, because we're going to have to choose just five case studies. So obviously these need to be, well, the 5 most heartbreaking and emotional and moving and convincing and compelling case studies, because that's the way the world works. But you can't just ask for 5, can you? And why so? Well, I've got these 5. I want 5,000 or 50,000 behind us. Say, there you go, Your Honour, there's 5 of the most compelling case studies, but I've got 5,000 behind me if you'd like to read all those too. Or even more. You know, it becomes a human rights issue at this point, when we have humans getting together and saying, this is a human rights issue. The same as the LGBT, forgive me if I get the acronym wrong, the people that wanted their own sexual rights, another freedom movement, coloured rights, another freedom movement, women rights, another freedom movement. It wasn't until they shook off the shackles of fear and actually gathered together and believed in themselves that they changed the laws. Yeah, power of the people. So, you know, I implore, so far there's 12 people watching this. I hope it will go up and up, and you share it, you know, copy the link. 3 dots in the top right corner, copy link, share it everywhere. We need people in WTU, in Canna community. You don't have to leave your club to join this club. It's not one or the other. You can be a club and join this club, because we're not even a club. We're a community group, and a community group can involve many, many people from all backgrounds. And we're not a localised, we're a digital, nationwide community group with the same belief that we should always, in fact, hold on, that we should just be able to get some cannabis seeds, stick them in some flaming soil, and grow our own cannabis for ourselves. Yeah, no interference from anybody. If I'm going to grow cannabis to make a product to sell to people, well, I need regulating and controlling, protect consumers and all that sort of business. But as an individual, you don't need control on how much alcohol you can brew or how much vegetables you can grow. So I don't see why there should be any controls on personal growing for cannabis, and that's what WTU is fighting for. Anyway, I feel like I'm waffling, so please, 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 come and do the survey. Give us your case study, add it to the legal challenge. It's not research for a college or a university or a newspaper or anything like that. It is to build a legal challenge against the government and its political policy of cannabis prohibition. It's not to try and get any individual MPs or politicians held to account, because you can't hold 600 odd people to account, surely not. But it's about getting the law held to account. The law itself needs challenging, so we need to challenge the law. So we need you to help us challenge the law, whether you're a business, a consumer, or just someone who believes in freedom. You know, if you believe in freedom, then you need to believe in WTU. It really is as simple as that. Anyway, it's bloody late. I haven't finished, but I've done what I can do for today. I'm going to go and lie in bed and vape the night away. Send you all lots of love, lots of hugs. Keep well, keep your spirits high. Don't let them get you down, right? Because they want to get you down and stop you smiling. They want to make you angry. They want to make you frown. You got to smile, right? Do you know why you got to smile? Anandamide. Yeah? When you smile, your body releases anandamide. Anandamide is our endocannabinoid, in other words, the cannabinoid that our body makes inside itself, that is the body's equivalent of THC, which is the phytocannabinoid that cannabis makes. So basically, smile constantly, no matter how you feel, no matter what they're trying to make you feel, keep smiling. Keep your anandamide flowing and keep your spirits high. Which is the correct law when all the courts and limited are illegal? That's an excellent question, that is. Which is the correct law? Well, it should only be the common law of the land, then, I would reckon. But yeah, there's an interesting question by a member in the group here that apparently today it was confirmed in a court of law that none of the courts have any authority. In fact, not even our Queen. That's on the Ian Crane video. If you go and look on my personal page, you'll see that on there. Take care, people. Keep smiling.